Hey, it's Niamh of the Stay-at-Home Family, and recently, over the last couple of weeks, I've really discovered something that I would consider to be the key to a very happy and joyful life. And no, it's not success, it's not goal setting or achieving, it's not money, it's not any of those things, even though I think all those things are great. It comes down to perspective. And this is something that I definitely have kind of bounced around for a while, but I didn't even realize the power of it until very recently. You see, what we believe and what we hold to be true becomes the confines of what we believe is possible. So, these things in our life that we hold to just be truth limit what is possible for us. Now, for people who have, really big boxes of truth of what they think is possible, they can do incredible things. Now, as we move forward and we get evidence from the world, if we've failed at something, if we haven't achieved something, we tend to limit our box down and down and down and down until we're in a very narrow box of what we think is possible, which is based entirely on what has gone before, not on what other people have done, or even any sense of reality. But it's easy to say that, and then switching your belief is a little more challenging. So perspective is the thing that does it. Here's a really interesting perspective, which totally shocked me and kind of shook up my world a little bit. So a couple weeks ago, the US set all their clocks forward for daylight saving time, or whatever the heck it's called at this time of year. They all set their clocks forward. Now the UK and Ireland, for whatever reason, had to wait 3 more weeks before we could set our clocks forward. So where we had planned all of our training calls, all of our team calls, everything was planned for 8 o'clock at night. For us, which is 1 hour after bedtime, which is the perfect time. We put the kids to bed, we can take our time doing it, we can come back, we can relax, we can get in our zone, we can prepare, and then go and do our trainings. And it all worked beautifully. And then the US moved their clocks forward, and all of a sudden all the things that were happening at 3 p.m. Eastern were now happening at bedtime for us. So instead of this nice, prepared, relaxed time, we were rushing kids to bed, trying to zip back out as quick as possible, going on calls going, okay, just got back from putting the kids to bed. And it was crazy. And I was like, oh my God, this really sucks. I don't feel like I'm not doing as good a job as I could do because I'm not prepared. And Mike said, well, Niamh, why don't we just change our clocks? And I was like, what? And he was like, well, we could just change our clocks. And I was like, yeah, but then they'd be wrong. And he was like, so? And I really stopped and thought about this, and actually, it's this funny thing. Time is the ultimate truth that we all live in, when it's something that was invented by people. The Earth goes around the sun, and that's mostly measurable, but the concept of time by a clock is invented by people, and my kids can tell you that, because they had started to wake up an hour earlier because the sun was coming up earlier. They naturally had changed their own clocks. So I went, okay, well, let's just do it. This is a practice in being rebellious and doing whatever the heck we want. In a way, these kinds of things that you do kind of make a statement to your inner being, yeah, I can do what I want. This is my world. I can change my clocks if I want to change my clocks. So we changed the clocks, and we just had to remember to bring the kids to school an hour late. Because they were all still on regular time and we were on our time. And what I didn't expect was how powerful it would feel to say, I can have whatever time I want. Because time is one of those things that we all kind of agree upon. In fact, actually, time as it is by a clock, I believe was brought about so that when trains came out, because trains needed to be, let people know when they would be at different stops so that people could catch a train and also, ship stuff via train and whatnot. So they all needed to agree on what time a train would be in a certain location. So before that, clocks as they are now did not even really exist. Or they wouldn't even be on the same time. They'd be on their own time. So central standardized time came about for trains. Which makes you go, well, that's not even that long ago. And this is something we all agree on, and we live by it as if it is a holy thing, as if it's time is. When you can let go of something like that by a simple perspective hey, you know what? Why not change our clocks? All of a sudden it's well, what else is possible? What other beliefs can I give up? And it becomes a game, it becomes fun. And all of a sudden, when you can start to take different perspective on things, it totally changes how you feel about them, and it totally changes what you believe is possible. And what you believe is possible starts to expand, and then you can create the amazing goals that you have for yourself. It's pretty cool, huh? So that is some perspective for you today, and I would just challenge you to do something different, or do something that flies in the face of a belief that you've held for a while. One thing that you can do is click on the link below and learn more about what we do that allows us to be a stay-at-home family. So I love you, I appreciate you, have an awesome day, break some rules, get some cool perspective, and just be happy. See you in the next video.